Assalamualaikum to Madam Jayati and my fellow friends. Today we are from Group 3 will be presenting about the emerging issue, sustainability reporting analysis. The chosen industry for this discussion is the rubber glove manufacturing industry, a critical segment within the global healthcare and personal protective equipment market. The two companies that we choose is Top Glove Corporation Berhad and Kossan Rubber Industry Berhad. The founder and executive chairman of Top Glove Corporation Berhad is Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wei Chai. He co-founded the company with his wife, Wan Sri Tong Siu Bi in 1991 and was based in Malaysia. Top Glove Corporation Berhad was a local business with one factory and one glove production line. The company has grown to be the world's largest glove manufacturer with manufacturing operations in Malaysia, Thailand and Vietnam. The company has marketing offices in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, USA, China, Germany and Brazil. Top Glove has over 2,000 customers and exports to over 195 countries worldwide. Top Glove's vision is to be the world-class partner in glove and healthcare products, while its mission is to ensure safe human protection globally. Next, Kossan Berhad was founded in 1979 by Tan Sri Datuk Kim Kwang Sia, who started the first company in Malaysia to manufacture rubber cutlass bearings for fishing boat propellers. In 1988, Kossan Berhad ventured into glove manufacturing by setting up its first factory in Klang, Selangor, Malaysia. Pushing boundaries since 1979, Kossan Berhad is now a world-class manufacturer of disposable glove and technical engineered rubber products with a wide range of global market access. In keeping with corporate philosophy, Kossan continues their journey of delivering sustainable growth over the long term. The three main businesses of the firms are glove divisions, technical rubber products division, and clean room division. In addition, their products are exported to over 90 countries around the world, supporting safety and protection across personal, commercial, and industrial sector. Next, let's move on to the importance of sustainability reporting. Under Malaysian regulatory requirements, sustainability reporting is compulsory to ensure alignment with national policies, fostering greater transparency and accountability among businesses. It underscores the incorporation of environmental, social governance, ESG elements into corporate practices, supporting the nation's sustainability objective. The global standards set by the International Sustainability Standards Board ISSB, namely IFRS S1 and S2, advocate for uniform reporting frameworks to enhance international comparability. The standards are designed to elevate the quality of sustainability disclosure, offering stakeholders consistent and dependable information. Overall, these guidelines support broader goals related to sustainable development and international climate-related reporting initiatives. Next, we will discuss about the overview of IFRS S1 and S2. IFRS S1, General Requirement for Disclosure of Sustainability-Related Financial Information, is a principle-based standard that lays out a comprehensive process for the disclosure of sustainability-related risks and opportunities that affect the financial performance and prospect of an entity. The standard is built around four pillars. First is governance, that address the oversights and processes organizations use to manage sustainability risks and opportunities. Next, strategy that focus on the identification of sustainability-related risks and how they affect the entity's business model and financial planning. The third pillar is risk management, which explains how risks and opportunities are identified, assessed, and managed. The fourth pillar, metrics and targets, makes the requirement for substantive and non-substantive disclosure of qualitative and quantitative measures to assess and track against sustainability objectives. IFRS S1 is designed to provide consistent and comparable disclosure, which have the potential to provide investors with decision-useful information to understand a company's sustainability purpose. Building on the framework established by IFRS S1, IFRS S2, also known as climate-related disclosure, focus solely on climate-related risks and opportunities. Physical risks, which result from climatic events like floods and heat wave, and transition risks, which are connected to movement toward a low-carbon economy, like shifting regulations and changing market needs, are the two main categories of climate risk that entities must identify and disclose, in addition to requiring reporting on greenhouse gas emissions across Scope 1, 2, and 3. IFRS S2 also calls for scenario analysis to estimate the potential effects of various climate-related developments on the entity strategy and financial health. Companies are also required to review climate-related indicators and targets, such as the financial effects of climate risk and the advancement of emissions reduction targets. Next, we move on to company overview. Top Glove, listed on Bursa Malaysia since 2001 and the Singapore Exchange since 2016, a Forbes Global 2000 company, it is known for producing high-quality gloves at low cost and has diversified into products like dental dams, exercise bands, latex sheets, silicates, face masks, and CPE apron. The company has demonstrated a strong commitment to environmental, social, and governance (ESG) principles, evidenced by its inclusion in the S&P Global Sustainability Yearbook for 3 consecutive years, an improved A rating in MSCI ESG ratings in 2024, and a top 10 ranking in Malaysia National Corporate Governance and Sustainability Awards. Further validating its sustainability focus, Top Glove completed a life cycle assessment and earned the EcoVadis Bronze Medal with 12% score improvement. With a recovering glove industry and increasing demand, especially from the US market, the company is cautiously resuming capacity expansion while reporting positive EBITDA and sales volume growth in financial year 2024. These efforts, backed by strong employee support and ongoing improvements, position Top Glove for sustainable profitability in financial year 2025. Kossan's vision is to be a respected global company by protecting life through purposely rubber products, while their mission is to provide innovative and reliable glove-engineered rubber products in a sustainable manner and with integrity. Their core value consists of inspired, honorable, innovative, caring, and committed. They believe that life-changing achievement begins with bold ideas. Driven by vision and excellence, Kossan Berhad are passionate about pushing boundaries and delivering exceptional results that go beyond the ordinary. The company also operates with honesty and upholds strong professional ethics. Integrity is embedded in everything they do, earning trust and respect from clients, partners, and communities. Furthermore, innovation is at the core of their mindset. They are constantly exploring new paths and crafting creative solutions that set them apart, ensuring they stay ahead in a changing world. Kossan Berhad truly care about people's needs and circumstances. By understanding those they deserve, they take ownership of their responsibility and build lasting and meaningful relationships. Lastly, their dedication to customer drives them to go the extra mile. They treat every task as a promise, aiming to deliver outcomes that are not only satisfactory but truly ideal.
Okay, there's 4 pillars in this IFRS S1. So I will explain about the first pillar, which is the governance. So the governance of TG, which is the top glove. The first point is about the integration into corporate governance. The way TG manage sustainability is a part of its overall leadership and decision-making system. This means both top level leaders like BOD and managers are involved in making sure that the sustainability is an important part of how the company is run. But the second point is about the sustainability steering group, which is the TG has set up the special group called Sustainability Steering Group to focus on the sustainability matters. This group handle both planning and also daily action, which follow the IFRS S1's rule that the companies should have a clear system to manage the sustainability risk properly. For the third one is about the continuous assessment, where the TG is dedicated to regularly checking and making sure the risks and opportunity related to the climate change using the numbers and data. This forward-thinking approach help the company be more responsible to the environment and clear about the finance, which match the IFRS S1's idea that the business should always review how the sustainability affect them. So we move to the next company. For the Kossan Rubber, there's 3 points for the governance. For the first point is about the board responsibility. The board is mainly in charge of making sure the sustainability is a part of how the company's plan and daily work. This follow the IFRS S1, which says that the company's leaders should help manage sustainability risk and opportunity. The group managing director or CEO also helps the board making sure the top leaders focus on the sustainability. But the second point is about the sustainability policy. In 2022, the board introduced a sustainability policy that focuses on the key ideas like creating long-term value and also build strong teams. This shows that the company has clear and organized way of handling sustainability risk. It's also matched the IFRS S1's guideline, which requires companies to have proper system to deal with the sustainability challenges. So for the last point is about the training and development. Kossan provide training on the sustainability and risk management for its director. This shows their effort to help leaders better understand and handle the sustainability issue. For conclusion, the governance structure and processes for managing sustainability risk and opportunity within both companies shows the significant alignment with the IFRS S1. So for the next slide is about the disclosure, how I get, and also the evidence, how I get the content for the governance in the annual report. So for the top glove, for the first and second point, I get from the page 71, annual report governance overview statement. For the third point, I get from the page 86, annual report statement on risk management and internal control. For the Kossan Rubber, for the first, second, and also third point, I get from the same page, which is the page 45, annual report corporate governance overview statement. So for the next pillar is strategy. So I will explain about the top glove first. So there are 3 points about the strategy. The first one is the integration of sustainability into business strategy. TG are encouraged to include sustainability in their main business plans. This means their sustainability goals should match their overall business goals, so that the sustainability becomes a natural part of how the company works and not something separate. But the second point is about the setting clear targets. Establishing specific measurable targets for the sustainability initiative is crucial. For instance, the organization's aims to accelerate carbon reduction initiative tailored to its business capacity, reflecting a strategic commitment to sustainability that align with the IFRS S1's focus on clear goal setting. For the third point is about the continuous monitoring and reporting. So the TG's strategies include regularly checking on its sustainability progress based on the goals it has set. It also plans to review and report this result in its sustainability report. This match with the IFRS S1's focus on being open and responsible when sharing updates on the sustainability efforts. For the Kossan rubber, there are 2 points for the strategy pillar. For the first one is about the sustainability blueprint. For the Kossan has introduced a sustainability blueprint to guide the actions across the whole group on important ESG area. This organized plan is an important step and fits well with the IFRS S1, which highlights the needs for clear and complete system to manage sustainability risk and opportunity. For the second point is about the support for supplier. Kossan is helping its suppliers go green by supporting them through programs like the Green Value Chain GVC initiative. This shows a strong plan to manage sustainability throughout the supply chain. It also matches with the IFRS S1's idea that working with others like suppliers is important to reduce climate risk and also improve the overall sustainability. So in conclusion, both companies align with the IFRS S1 by incorporating sustainability into their strategy through DG emphasize internal planning and measurement, while the Kossan adds strong supply chain management. So these are the evidence where I get the contents about the strategy. Okay, for the next pillar is about the risk management. So I will move to the top glove first. For the first point about the risk management of top glove is about the enterprise risk management ERM framework. TG has created an ERM to help find, evaluate, reduce and track sustainability risk. This shows that the company takes sustainability seriously and includes it as a part of its overall risk management, which exactly what the IFRS S1 recommends, a full and organized way to handle the sustainability risk. For the second one is performance and compliance accountability. DG connects risk management to staff performance and rewards by using key performance indicator KPIs. This strategy actually makes the employee more accountable for the sustainability effects. It also makes the IFRS S1's focus on using clear performance measures to manage the sustainability risk effectively. Next, for the Kossan rubber, for the first point about their risk management, establishment of risk management framework. The board has set up a risk management framework to help find, track and improve how risks are handled. This structured system supports better decision making and match the IFRS S1's requirement for having a clear and organized to deal with the sustainability related risk. Actually, this point is also same with the top glove, like previous point. So for the second point is board responsibility. The boards make sure the risk management framework works well and stay reliable. They are in charge of overseeing it, which show clear accountability. This fits with the IFRS S1's requirement that top level leaders must take the responsibility for managing the sustainability risk properly. So in conclusion, both DG and also Kossan align with the IFRS S1 by having the structured risk management for their sustainability. DG links is to staff performance, while Kossan ensure the board level oversight. So these are the disclosure how I get the content about the risk management. Last but not least, the last pillar is about the metrics and target. So for the top glove, there's 2 points for this pillar, which is the first one is about the scope 1 and scope 2 emission. The company has set clear goals to reduce carbon emission scope 1 and 2 from making glove. This help measure its impact on the environment and follow IFRS S1 ideas of tracking climate related risks and opportunity. But the second point is about the stakeholder engagement. DG targets as they want to meet the changing needs of its stakeholder through its sustainability effect. This is important because the IFRS S1 highlights that listening to stakeholder is the key in managing risk and sharing clear information. So for the Kossan rubber, there are also 2 points. For the first one is about the training and development. For the metric, total training hours provided to the employees. So their target is increased training hours to 120,000 by the end of the next financial year, up from 108,059 in the financial year 2034. For the next point about the board effectiveness metric, the number of areas for improvement identified in the board evaluation. So their target is address at least 3 key areas for improvement identified in the B report each year. So in conclusion, both DG and Kossan align with the IFRS S1 by setting measurable targets, where the DG focus on reducing emission and engaging stakeholder, while the Kossan aims to improve employees' training and the board effectiveness, reflecting the strong attention to climate risk. So this is the evidence where I get the content from the previous slide. So for the top glove, for the first and second point, I get from the same pages, which is at the page 35 annual report sustainability strategy. For the Kossan rubber, for the first point, I get from the page 31 annual report creating sustainable value. For the second point, I get from the page 47 annual report governance. And I will pass to the next presenter to explain about the next content.
Today, we will examine the climate-related disclosure practices of 2 major Malaysian glove manufacturers, which are Top Glove and Kossan Rubber, focusing on how each company governs and reports on climate-related risks and strategies. Starting with Top Glove, climate oversight is led by the PSC, which was established in 2019 and is chaired by Independent Director Puan Azrina Arshad. The BSC is supported by the Sustainability Steering Group (SSG), made up of the Managing Director and Department Heads. This structure ensures that climate issues are regularly reviewed during quarterly board meetings, enabling top-level oversight and timely action. Importantly, the BSC acts as the highest authority in making decisions related to ESG matters, ensuring that the board stay informed about emerging climate risks and the mitigation steps taken by the company. In the year 2024, Top Glove aligned its reporting with international framework, including the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure (TCFD), IFRS 2, and the IPCC guidelines to conduct a comprehensive climate risk analysis. Top Glove also recognizes the importance of internal awareness. In collaboration with UNGCMYB Academy, the company delivered e-learning modules on climate change to employees, with 681 staff members trained in the year 2024. This demonstrates a commitment not only to disclosure but also to climate education and internal capacity building. Now, turning to Kossan Rubber, climate governance is similarly robust. Oversight lies with the Kossan Sustainability Committee (KSC) under the Board of Directors and is supported by the Kossan Sustainability Centre of Excellence (KSCE). These bodies focus on both climate governance and climate change mitigation efforts across the company. Kossan provides quarterly updates on its climate progress, ensuring consistent board engagement and alignment with international best practices. In terms of strategy, Kossan is actively working to enhance its climate resilience. This includes investment in low-emission energy sources, the expansion of PV solar panels, and energy efficiency upgrades across operations. So, here are the evidence of the disclosure allocated for the Top Glove company I found in the sustainability reporting in the section of environmental to tackle climate change and restore nature in the page of 19 and also in the page of 28, which highlight the climate-related disclosure. In this page, however, for the Kossan company, I found in the source of sustainability reporting in the section of KSCE in the page of 14 and also in the section 3, generating sustainable economic value in the page of 32. Then, starting with Top Glove, the company has reinforced its ESG commitment by setting an ambitious long-term goal to achieve net zero carbon by 2050, with interim targets for financial year 2028. This structured roadmap reflects Top Glove's strategic intent to reduce carbon emissions across its value chain. In the year 2024, Top Glove expanded its Scope 3 emissions reporting to cover 5 key categories, including purchased goods and services, in addition to waste generated in operations, business travel, employee commuting, and downstream leased assets, which were already tracked. This move enhances transparency and accountability across indirect emission sources. To support its transition, Top Glove has implemented several strategic initiatives. The first one, renewable energy adoption. The company signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with Shenzhen Malaysia to source clean energy, aiming to reduce both emissions and energy costs. Operational and technological innovation. Investments are being made in low-emission technologies, biodegradable glove R&D, and Industry 4.0 automation to promote more sustainable production. The third strategies, we have policy and market alignment. Top Glove actively monitors regulatory development, including carbon pricing mechanism, and participates in industry webinars to stay informed. The fourth one, carbon pricing and financial planning. The company is preparing for future carbon tax scenarios and potential assets impairments by incorporating climate-related financial risks into its long-term planning. In comparison, Kossan Rubber is also actively pursuing decarbonization. The company has set a target to reduce Scope 1 and 2 emissions intensity by 56.4% by 2035 compared to year 2024 levels. This goal is supported by targeted investments in clean energy, operational upgrades, and low-carbon technologies. Kossan's transition strategies include the first one, we have net zero commitment, a long-term vision to shift toward a low-carbon business model. Next, energy efficiency, implementation of LED lighting and others to reduce energy consumption across facilities. The third one, we have the renewable energy deployment, installation of 4.3 megawatt peak solar panels to cut Scope 2 emissions. Then, we have green logistics, replacement of diesel power forklift with electric models to reduce operational emissions. And the last one, nature-focused innovation. Through the Stay Low initiative, Kossan promotes environmental and skin health via its low derma technology, integrating sustainability into product design. So, here are the evidence of the disclosure allocated for the Top Glove company in the section 1, creating sustainable value in the page 4 in sustainability reporting, and the second one, section 2, environmental to tackle climate change and restore nature in the page 24. However, for the Kossan company, I found in the annual report, section 4, creating sustainable value in the page 28 and also page 33, and the last one in the sustainable reporting, combating climate change in the page 44 and also 45. Now, let's look at Top Glove GHG emissions performance across Scope 1, 2 and 3, which reflect the company climate impact and reporting progress. Scope 1 emissions, which represent the direct emissions from company-owned sources, primarily include natural gas, diesel and petrol, fleet vehicles and coal used in manufacturing. Between the year 2022 and 2023, Top Glove achieved a significant reduction in Scope 1 emissions, indicating improved energy efficiency and possibly lower production intensity. However, there was a slight increase in year 2024, likely due to operational adjustment or fluctuations in energy usage. Then, for Scope 2 emissions, which account for indirect emissions from purchased electricity, cover energy used in both glove and non-glove manufacturing operations, Top Glove calculates these emissions using the location-based method, which electricity is sourced from Tenaga Nasional Berhad Malaysia, national utility provider. For Scope 3 emissions representing other indirect emissions along the value chain saw a major update in year 2024. The company expanded its reporting to include 5 categories, which are purchased goods and services, waste generated in operation, business travel, employee commuting, and the last one, downstream lease asset. This broader Scope 3 boundary led to a substantial increase in reporting emissions, reflecting the both expanded data coverage and possibly greater supply chain activity. Total GHG emissions across all 3 scopes was just like on the slide. This trend highlights the Top Glove commitment to improving transparency, especially in Scope 3 reporting, though it is also underscore the challenge of managing emissions across a complex supply chain. Next, we turn to Kossan Rubber's greenhouse gas emissions profile, focusing on the company's disclosure of Scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions as well as its long-term reduction goals. Scope 1 emissions represent direct emissions from sources owned or controlled by the company. For Kossan, this includes stationary and mobile combustion, specifically the use of natural gas, diesel and gasoline at its production facilities. These figures highlight the Kossan's thorough approach to tracking and reporting the direct emissions. The second one, Scope 2 emissions refer to indirect emissions from purchased electricity, which cover energy consumed across Kossan manufacturing plants and hospitality operations. While exact figures for Scope 2 are not detailed here, they are accounted for in the company's total carbon footprint and monitored as part of its efficiency strategy. However, for Scope 3 emissions, which include other indirect emissions, are currently limited to business travel, employee commuting, and waste generated. While the scope is not as broad as some peers, this category reflects Kossan's efforts to expand coverage of its indirect climate impact. In total, these disclosures reflect the comprehensive accounting of both direct and indirect emissions, in line with growing stakeholder expectation. Kossan has also set a clear strategic goal to reduce the Scope 1 and 2 emissions intensity by 54.6% by 2035 compared to 2022 levels. This target is supported by the ongoing energy efficiency initiative and renewable energy deployment, including solar panel installations and smart facility upgrades. So here are the evidences of the disclosure are located for the both companies for the aspect of Scope 1, 2, 3 and also GHG emissions. For the Top Glove company, in the sustainability reporting in the greenhouse gases emissions section in the page of 25. However, for the Kossan company, in the source of the sustainability reporting in the section of combating climate change in the page 45 and also sustainability reporting in the section of performance data in the page of 83.
Next, we will move on to the part 2 financial statement analysis. The first one is profitability ratio. This is the ratio for Top Glove that consists net profit margin, return on assets, and return on equity. For net profit margin, the formula is net income divided by net sales, and we got negative 0.85%. For ROE, net income over average total assets, and we got negative 0.21%. And the last one, ROE, net income over average common equity, and we got negative 0.36%. Next, for Kossan Berhad, the net profit margin we got 6.30%, ROE we got 2.91%, and ROA we got 3.1%. So this is the comparison of financial statement between the two companies. As we can see, the net profit margin for Kossan Berhad is higher than Top Glove. This means that the Top Glove is operating at loss as it loses 0.85 cents ringgit for every 100 ringgit in revenue, while Kossan is profitable earning 6.30 ringgit per 100 ringgit revenue. Kossan's strong margin is partly attributable to its structured sustainability practices, which focus on improving operational efficiency and reducing resource wastage. Through initiatives such as ISO 14001, Kossan not only reduced its environmental footprint but also managed costs better, thereby supporting profitability. A negative margin is a result from Top Glove has undertaken numerous cost-intensive sustainability initiatives such as transitioning to renewable energy including 20-year power purchase agreement (PPA), expanding Scope 3 GHG emission reporting and conductive life cycle assessment, and investing in biodegradable glove R&D. This green initiative, while vital for long-term resilience and alignment with ESG expectation, can increase operating costs and capital expenditure in the short term. For ROA, Kossan is more efficient at using its asset to generate income compared to Top Glove. Kossan's ROA shows a sign of efficient resource utilization. This efficiency aligns with its sustainability strategy that prioritizes optimizing manufacturing processes, reducing energy and water usage, and investing in smart automation. This practice enhances productivity and reduces operational costs, thus improving asset performance. The negative ROA suggests inefficiency in Top Glove asset utilization, yet remains committed to building long-term value through sustainability. This can be linked to capital-heavy investment in sustainability infrastructure of installation of solar and biomass energy systems, upgrades to wastewater treatment plants, and implementation of rainwater harvesting systems, investment in green buildings such as GBI, certification for its headquarters. These actions may currently weigh on financial performance due to upfront costs, but they are expected to enhance productivity and improve ROA in the medium to long term. Next, for ROE, Kossan delivers modest positive returns, adding value to shareholders' equity, while Top Glove is providing negative returns to its shareholder. To relate with its sustainability practices, Kossan's zero-tolerance approach to corruption, human rights protection, and proactive ESG disclosure framework like the Shaping Transformation 2035 blueprint help build stakeholder trust, which in turn supports long-term investor confidence and equity returns. Next, for Top Glove, negative ROE means shareholders are seeing a decline in equity value that reduces the investing confidence. However, Top Glove is focusing on building long-term shareholder trust by strengthening corporate governance with 40% of management incentives tied to ESG KPIs, improving transparency through third-party ESG assurance and compliance framework like TCFD and ISSB. Although the ROE is currently negative, these efforts may build reputational and stakeholder value may improve in the future.
For efficiency ratio, we have count the asset turnover ratio and inventory ratio for both companies. For Top Glove, we got 0.36 for their asset turnover ratio and 6.64 for inventory turnover ratio. For Kossan, it shows asset turnover ratio of 0.46 and inventory turnover of 4.071. Kossan used their asset better to make more sale. So why is Kossan better? Because they use energy saving machines and solar panel. They also use smart technology like automation and IoT. This helps Kossan work faster and smarter. And all of these support their long-term plan called as Sustainability Blueprint 2035 and matches global standards like IFRS S1 and S2. For Top Glove, their asset turnover is lower. This may mean they have unused factories or slower production, but they are still trying to improve. Top Glove use smart energy system and recycle water. They also upgrade their factories to be more eco-friendly. These steps may help in the future, even if not now. So in short, Kossan is more efficient now, but Top Glove is working on it for long-term gains. And I have provided few evidence that I collect from their sustainability report. For the first picture, it shows Kossan used their PV solar panel. The second picture states about their industry 4.0 technologies. Third picture from Top Glove stating that they use smart energy monitoring system. And the last picture showing Top Glove commitment in sustainable water management to reduce dependence on municipal water supplies. For inventory turnover, Top Glove has higher inventory turnover than Kossan. This means they move their stock faster. And then Top Glove use lean system and work with less waste. They also have ISO 14001 and aim for net zero by 2050. This shows a good control and strong link to sustainability. However, Kossan turnover is lower, but this is because they focus more on the quality. They use safe, eco-friendly materials while following standards like Forest Stewardship Council and worldwide responsible accredited productions. They move slower to make sure everything is safe and ethical. So, Top Glove is fast and efficient, while Kossan takes time for quality and sustainability.
Next, liquidity ratio consists of current and quick ratio. For Top Glove, to calculate the current ratio is current assets over current liabilities, and we got 1.93, and quick ratio, current assets minus inventory divided by current liabilities, and we got 1.53. For Kossan Berhad, we got 8.15 for current ratio and 7.27 for quick ratio. To compare, Kossan has higher current ratio than Top Glove. This means that Top Glove has just enough current assets to cover its current liabilities, but with limited margin of safety, while Kossan Berhad is in a very strong position to pay off its debt. Kossan's strong liquidity position gives the company the flexibility to invest in long-term sustainability initiatives without financial strain such as renewable energy projects, supplier ESG training through its green value chain program, and sustainable packaging. By embedding sustainability into its operation even with tight liquidity, Top Glove is investing in long-term ESG goals while still maintaining sufficient liquidity. It shows prudent financial management despite ESG spending, such as continuing education and support and community programs under Top Glove Foundation. However, the tight current ratio could limit the company's ability to scale up sustainability programs without additional revenue or financing. Kossan has higher quick ratio than Top Glove. This means that both companies can cover short-term liabilities without selling their inventory. However, Kossan has stronger liquidity than Top Glove. The quick ratio of Kossan shows a strategic enabler for sustaining long-term ESG programs without liquidity risk, such as the company's investment in eco-friendly raw materials such as FSC and advanced employee welfare initiatives including REP, decent worker accommodations, and robust safety training. The company's liquidity not only sustained these programs but allowed it to scale them strategically, as seen in its 2035 sustainability blueprint. This level of liquidity supports Top Glove ongoing investment in emission reduction, waste minimization, and ethical labor practices without compromising its financial stability. For example, Top Glove has successfully reduced its carbon emission intensity to 0.0183 tons per 1,000 pieces of glove and significantly cut solid waste by over 64.7%, demonstrating measurable environmental progress. Therefore, the 1.53 ratio affirms the company's resilience and ability to carry out comprehensive ESG strategies while safeguarding day-to-day operations.
For leverage ratio, we have debt to equity and interest coverage ratio. For Top Glove, they have 0.19 debt to equity ratio and negative 2.15 for their interest coverage ratio. For Kossan, their debt to equity ratio is 0.12, while their interest coverage ratio is 18.86. As you can see, Top Glove has higher debt to equity ratio than Kossan. This is because Top Glove used more debt financing, which increased financial risk, but helps fund their net zero by 2050 goals and climate projects. This shows their strong ESG commitment even if it's risky in the short term. And on the other hand, Kossan has lower debt, relying on internal funding. This makes their strategy more stable and conservative, focusing on the greening the value chain and sustainable packaging for long-term growth. In short, Top Glove takes on more risk for ESG projects, while Kossan focuses on stability with a long-term sustainability approach. I also provide some evidence for it. First picture showing that they use few principles and combination of method, and one of it is Task Force on Nature related financial disclosure. Second picture showing Top Glove effort in the emission reduction project that caused their carbon intensity reduced by 11.6% in 2024 compared to 2023. The third picture showing Kossan admission in strengthening supply chain resilience through greening value chain program. And the last picture indicate Kossan effort of using 96% sustainable packaging upgrades. Based on the calculation, Kossan has a really high interest coverage ratio of 18.86, which means they can easily cover their interest expenses with their earnings. This strong financial position allows Kossan to self-fund sustainability projects like the greening the value chain, FSC certified sourcing, and getting the Red Platinum certification. Their low debt makes them financially stable and ready for long-term ESG goals. On the other hand, Top Glove has a negative interest coverage ratio of 2.15, which show they might struggle to meet their debt obligation. This is because likely due to the either weak earnings or high financing costs. While they have made progress like cutting carbon intensity and setting up water reuse system, they could face challenges in funding future ESG effort unless their profitability improve. The evidence for this like GVC and FSC that I state for Kossan has been provided at the previous slide.
Okay, for the next content is about the evaluation of reporting quality. So I will explain about the quality of the disclosure from the perspective of comprehensiveness. So for the Top Glove, about the comprehensiveness shown by the 4 points, where the first point is about the quantitative metrics, where the first one is provide specific data, points such as water saving RM 3.8 million and revenue from water management RM 10 million indicate transparent measurement. For the second point is about the risk management, discuss the climate related risk, supply chain risk and compliance risk with the strategies and governance structures such as the board, sustainability committee and sustainability steering group. So for the third point is about the stakeholder engagement, details how the company engage the stakeholder and incorporate their feedback into the reporting strategy. For the last point is about the supply chain traceability, where the DG demonstrates effort in its ESG assessment, certification and EUDR compliance, indicating that in the supply chain disclosure. Okay, for the Kossan, the comprehensiveness shown by the 3 points, where the first point is about the scope of the topic cover, where the company's reports cover many important sustainability topics like the environment, how they are treat people, how they are managed, and their financial results. These reports follow well-known the guidelines such as the GRI, and also the Bullseye indicator shows that Kossan are meeting the common standard. For the second point is about the assurance and validation. The report mentions that external assurance, DSI limited assurance, and internal audit of select indicator which enhance the credibility and also the transparency of the disclosure. But the last point is about the social and economic impact data, where the report gives the clear details about how the Kossan works with the local communities, buy from the local supplier, creates jobs, and also handle health and safety issue. This shows they shares a lot of information about their social and also economic impact. Okay, so for conclusion, Top Glove gives more complete sustainability information because it clearly includes the ESG issues in its governance, risk management, and financial reports with the clear goals and numbers. Kossan's report is more general and based on the policies with less detail and fewer specific performance results.
Now, let's move on to the evaluation of reporting quality, the quality of disclosure. The first one, we have the clarity from the both company, Top Glove. So, Top Glove provide the clear scope definition. The report clearly distinguishes between scope 1, 2, and also 3 and GHG emissions, explaining the sources and boundaries for each scope. And the second one, quantitative data presentation, specific emissions figure for each scopes are provided, including detailed 2024 data and prior year comparison, enhancing the transparency. The third one, we have the targets and progress. The report explicitly states short-term interim goals, longer-term targets, and current performance against this target, facilitating the understanding of the company commitment and progress. And the fourth one, we have the strategic framework explanation. The incorporation of framework like TCFD and TNFD is well articulated, conveying how this guide the company's climate-related disclosure. And the last one, we have the governance clarity. Details about the governance structure overseeing climate risk, including role of the board and sustainability steering group, are clearly explained. However, for the quality of disclosure in aspect of clarity by Kossan Rubber, it provide clear scope definition which explicitly explain which is included in scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, share stationary or mobile combustion, waste, and also business travel. And the second one, specific data disclosure. It provides detailed emission figure for financial year 2022, 2023, and also 2024, offering the transparency and clarity over time. And the last one, use of reputable emission factors. The references sources like US, EPA, UK BEIS, and also IPCC, enhancing the credibility and also precision of the disclosure. The evidences of the disclosure are located, which show that the reporting quality provides the clarity in the company of Top Glove, which I found in the source of the sustainability reporting in the section 2 to tackle climate change and restore nature in the page 24, section 1 creating sustainability value in the page 4, and the last one, sustainability reporting environmental to tackle climate change and restore nature in the page of the 18. And for the Kossan Rubber, of the disclosure are located in the page of 91 in the sustainability reporting in the performance data section.
Now let's take a look at the quality of disclosure in the reports of Top Global and Kossan in terms of their comparability. Top Global follow global standards like IIRC, SASB, and the UN SDGs, showing they are committed to clear and transparent reporting. They have a solid net zero by 2015 plan and third-party assurance by steering costs, which boosts trust. They also have a dedicated board sustainability committee, ensuring high-level integration of ESG goals. Top Global focus is balanced, covering environmental, social, and human rights issues. Kossan follow global reporting standards like GRI, UN SDG, and IFRS. Their report is independently verified by BSI, which increased credibility. Kossan focus heavily on environmental sustainability with eco-friendly practices and carbon reduction. They also emphasize ethical governance and social accountability with programs like their sustainability blueprint and greening the value chains to improve ESG within company and across suppliers. In conclusion, both Top Glove and Kossan show strong commitment to their sustainability with clear reporting and good governance. However, Top Glove stand out because they track their performance in more detail. They also have external assurance from Steering Cost International, and they also set clear net zero goals. Their approach to sustainability is well organized and also aligned with global standards, making their reporting stronger. These are few evidence I collect for everything that I have mentioned at the previous slide, including the standard they use, their goals and strategy, their certificate, and their external assurance.
Okay, for the next content is about whether the company utilize either framework, how this align and differ from the IFRS S1 and also S2. So I will explain about the utilize either framework for both company. So for the Top Glove, there are three other framework that I utilize. For the first one is TCFD, Task Force on the Climate Related Financial Disclosure. DG have adopted the CFD support since September 2023, indicating their commitment to the climate-related financial risk disclosure. The second one is Task Force on the Nature related to the financial disclosure, TNFD. By mentioning TNFD in their report, DG shows that it's starting to consider risk related to nature and ecosystem like biodiversity loss. So this report their environmental efforts and aligns with the newer sustainability framework. The last framework is Malaysia Regulatory Framework. The report follows the Bursa Malaysia Sustainability Reporting Guide, third edition, and also the Corporate Governance Guide, fourth edition. Means TG is meeting the local rules for the sustainability and governance reporting. For the Kossan rubber, there are two other frameworks that are utilized, which is the first one is GRI, Global Reporting Initiative. International standard for the sustainability reporting give guidelines on how to share information about the ESG impacts and performance. It's help Kossan explain their sustainability action clearly and also openly. The second framework is United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So a global set of 70 goals called the Sustainability Development Goals (SDG) focus on solve problems like poverty, inequity, climate change, and also protecting the environment. These goals help guide Kossan in supporting sustainability development around the world.
Then I will explain whether the company framework is aligned with the IFRS 1 and also IFRS 2. So for the Top Glove company, IFRS 1, Top Glove align well with the IFRS 1, discloses sustainability related risk and opportunity with the BSC overseeing ESG matters. ESG risk and opportunity are identified and integrated into the company's strategic planning, demonstrating consistency with investor expectation. ESG and climate related risks are also incorporated into Top Glove Enterprise Risk Management Framework, supported by the materiality assessment. The company also reports on ESG metrics such as carbon dioxide, intensity targets, and water usage. However, for the alignment of IFRS 2, Top Glove described the governance of climate-related risk and opportunity with oversight integrated into its ESG framework. The company identifies climate-related risks and opportunities and outlines their impact as part of its broader strategy, which align directly to IFRS 2. Climate-related risks are identified, assessed, and managed within Top Glove overall ESG risk framework. The company discloses Scope 1 and Scope 2 GHG emissions, though Scope 3 is not yet reported. However, for the Kossan rubber, we will explain the alignment with IFRS 2. Kossan has established a Sustainability Committee and the Kossan Center of Excellence, formally integrating sustainability into its governance structure since 2022. The company adopts its integrated reporting framework and Bursa Malaysia guidelines, updates its sustainability blueprint, and embeds KPIs to guide strategic sustainability performance. Kossan conducts environmental audits, assessment, and monitoring through systems like EMS and also ISO. These practices align well with IFRS 1. However, for the alignment with IFRS 2, Kossan described the governance of climate-related risks and opportunity, aligning its disclosure with TCFD recommendation and reporting on climate mitigation strategies. However, scenarios analysis has not yet been conducted. And the last one, since 2022, Kossan tracked and reported Scope 1, 2, and 3 GHG emissions across its value chain and suppliers, while the company monitors emissions and carbon-related initiatives. It has not yet released specific emission reduction targets.
Now we will take a look at how those frameworks stated by Amisha earlier differ from IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. Starting with Top Glove, they use the TCFD framework, which focus mainly on climate-related financial disclosures, explaining how climate risks affect their business. In contrast, IFRS S1 look at broader sustainability risks that go beyond climate, covering how different sustainability issues can affect a company's financial performance. The NFT, another framework that Top Glove use, is more specific, focusing on nature-related risks like biodiversity, while IFRS S1 mainly address the climate risks and how they impact the company financially. Additionally, the Malaysian regulatory framework that Top Glove follows focus on the national compliance with sustainability regulations, while IFRS S1 aim for global consistency, reporting how sustainability risks affect financial performance across the globe. And then now we are moving to Kossan. They follow the GRI framework, which is broader and focuses on the stakeholder transparency, providing a deeper look at the company's sustainability practices. On the other hand, IFRS S1 focus on the financial impact of sustainability issues, particularly how they affect the company's bottom line. Kossan also aligned with UN SDGs, which focus on the global issues like poverty and climate change, guiding companies to consider their role in these larger goals. In comparison, IFRS S1 require companies to report on the sustainability risks and how they impact the financial performance, focusing more on the economic side of these issues. These are the evidence of the standard used by both of the company for top level. First picture showing their use of TCFD, and second picture is the NFT framework while planning their climate risk strategy. For Kossan, first picture showing that they follow GRI standard, and second picture indicate they are following UN SDG standard in terms of managing their environmental impact. Now we will take a look at challenge faced by Top Love to improve their sustainability reporting. One key issue in Top Love 2024 sustainability report is the limited coverage and transparency of Scope 3 emissions. There are only disclosed 2 out of 15 GHG protocol categories, excluding major contributors like raw material sourcing, logistics, and product use. Additionally, the report lacks clarity on how these emissions are calculated. There is minimal information on data sources, assumptions, or emission factor, making it difficult for stakeholders to assess the accuracy and completeness of their carbon reporting. Another concern is the ongoing labor and social governance issues. Although not part of the environmental section, past problems related to worker welfare and supply chain ethics continue to affect Top Love ESG rating and stakeholder trust. Greater transparency and proactive reporting on how these areas will significantly enhance their credibility and the investor confidence on them.
Challenges in improving the sustainability reporting faced by the Kossan Rubber is the first one, enhancing the Scope 3 emission tracking. While progress has been made in tracking Scope 3 emission, further efforts are needed to improve the data accuracy, completeness, and transparency in this area, particularly for categories beyond fuel and also energy-related activities. The second challenge is climate risk assessment and disclosure. The company plans to conduct detailed climate risk assessment aligned with IFRS 1 and also IFRS 2 standards. Effectively integrating physical and transition climate risk into reporting remains a challenge that requires comprehensive risk identification and mitigation strategies. The last one, alignment with international standards, ensuring the full compliance and also alignment with evolving global standards such as IFRS, GRI, and UN SDGs can be complex, particularly as regulatory requirements become stricter and more detailed.
Okay, thank you. So for the next content is about the opportunities for the improvement in sustainability reporting. So the opportunity that Top Glove and Kossan Rubber can get. For the first one is enhance the disclosure of quantitative targets and progress. The report talks about how some effort and saving, like saving RM 4.77 million from using renewable energy in financial year 2024, but it does not give enough clear goals or updates on the important areas like cutting GHG emission, using less water, reducing waste, or protecting the nature, including specific targets, timeliness, and progress that would make the report more transparent and easy to track. So for the Kossan Rubber, the opportunity that they will get is by supplying data for the social and human right aspect. So there's little or no data on the workplace diversity, discrimination case, or employee training in the report. Sharing more detailed information on this topic actually will help show the Kossan commitment to social responsibility and fair treatment of workers. And I will pass to the next presenter to explain the further opportunities of both companies.
The second opportunities for improvement in sustainability reporting for Top Glove is stakeholder engagement outcomes and feedback. Top Glove must explain how it engages with stakeholders, but the reporting can be improved by showing how the actual feedback received, how it affects the business decisions, and any measure of reputation or trust. This would make the stakeholder management more transparent and aligned with best practices. Next, the second opportunities for Kossan Berhad is the inclusion of climate-related risk and opportunity assessment. Kossan must mention climate change, but give limited details on climate-related risk assessment based on framework like TCFD. Sharing more specific information on risk, opportunities, and strategies would improve its climate resilience and align better with reporting standards. Therefore, the conclusion that can be made is Top Glove's sustainability report demonstrates a more comprehensive and transparent approach compared to Kossan, as it integrates ESG issues directly into its governance structure, risk management processes, and financial disclosure. This integration is supported by the inclusion of measurable targets, clear KPI, and quantifiable data, allowing stakeholders to assess progress and hold the company accountable. In contrast, Kossan's sustainability report tends to be broader and more policy-driven, often outlining commitments and intentions without providing sufficient performance metrics or detailed outcomes. As a result, top-growth reporting offers greater clarity and comparability, aligning more closely with global best practices in sustainability disclosure, while Kossan's report may lack the depth needed for stakeholders to fully evaluate their company's ESG impact and performance. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.